the official title sponsor and Sidecar TT media partner for the Isle of Man TT Sidecar races.
The machines are on the grid, and so is Jeff.
With Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs, fifth fastest in practice at 106.07, leading the race away on a very, very hot day indeed.
Yes, it's having number one seemed a good idea at the beginning, but now I'm not so sure. Last time I was this nervous, I was getting married.
Surely that was a different thing, though. That was fear of the unknown.
Well, that's nearly the same thing, really.
What is it, the cavalry behind that's worrying you?
Yes, it is, really, because like when you're trying hard, you have to sort of worry about not being in anybody else's way, and I don't know, maybe I'll just have to go quicker so that I'm not in anybody's way.
Well, the further round you go before anybody catches you, the better you know you're doing when you're number one, but it is easier to chase than be chased, I should think, anyway, not that I know anything about it.
Yes,
that's a bit like getting married too.
Yes, I'm probably right, yeah. No, I wanted to be number one, I'm number one, and that's it, and we'll live with it and see how things go.
It's a great photograph to have in the future, though. That was me setting off first in the races in the TT in 97, you know. It'll look good, won't it?
That's right, I've bought them all so far.
All right, Phil, you set to go? All set now?
Just about, yeah.
There's not much you can do now, but it's agonising filling in. That's probably why the solo boys come out at the last seconds.
Yeah, it is a bit warm.
106, though, knocking on a bit?
Yeah, it's okay. It was a smooth ride round, and I think that's the secret around here. Just the smoother you ride, the faster you go, I think.
But 110 is something else for number two, and that looks right behind you there, and you haven't got any mirrors on the outfit like Ralph Beelan, but you'll always know he's coming.
I'll have a little glance behind every now and then.
Do you signal to each other when you're going along? Are there sort of pre-arranged signals, tap you on the back, somebody's coming, or what?
We do have signals to sort of... It depends what he's trying to tell me, but normally, in this case, he's going to tell me when Rob's on his way behind us, and then when he is behind us, and so he's going to hit me as soon as we start.
Some of the signals are saying please slow us down occasionally, are they?
No.
Never that?
No.
OK, I remember Ashley Wooler one time, was it, out in Kirkmichael, got out of Ireson's outfit and said that'll do, wasn't it?
That's enough, I'm going home, that's right, yes.
So have you had a lot of work to do in the garage?
We always have a lot of work in the island, but now we're happy with the bike. It's been performing as well as it ought to, and it's down to me and Phil now, and get it round as quick as we can, as safe as we can, and enjoy it.
The Formula 2 spec's been the answer, though, really, hasn't it, for reliability, instead of the Yamahas ripping them to bits every 5 minutes?
I think that's right. I think it's totally transformed the class, and the manufacturers, though they're not over-interested, at least we're using sort of standard-based road engines, so I think it's good for the class, and I think the class will live on. And
going faster now than the 700s were at the time, which I think... was it Mick had the record? It was 108 odd, wasn't it? Yeah, Michael had the record, and he'd love to get it back again, but I think Michael and me are like just looking to see the twilight years out now. OK, well, I think we should bear a thought for Dave Saville at this moment, don't you? Good, yes, I think, and Dave, I'm sure Dave's listening, and Dave would wish us all well, and I wish Dave well, and hope to see him around soon. OK, Roy, Philip, go to it, and I hope you have a good straight run for the 3 laps. Thank you. So, number 1 then, Hanks and Biggs. Number 2, Fisher and Long. 3, McButters Senior and Dave Wells. 4, Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell. In fact, all the outfits are on here. We haven't talked much to the Bell brothers, Ian and Jeff, this week. Not through any intent, just the way it works out sometimes, but they're here now, and perhaps we can grab a word with Jeff. And I don't know how we've missed you all week. No slur intended. You've had a reasonable week, though?
No, I've had a terrible week, Jeff.
Well, the speeds are up.
Not for me, they're not. It's Ian that's going quickly.
All right, 107.39. Yeah, you're not featured on the top 6 at all. I've just noticed that now, but he's done 107.39, but you're quicker than that if it'll go, won't you?
Yeah, we're up quicker than that last year with a sick engine, but there's been a lot of problems this year. I think we've got them sorted. I'll just have a steady ride and see how things go.
What sort of things have been bedeviling you then?
We had an electrical problem, creating short circuits, we had a fuel problem, and we've been trying to develop a ram air system, which we've got right now. Hopefully it's all come together. We'll soon find out. OK, what about all the war wounds from Cross 4 Ways years ago? Are they all right, or do you feel them when you've done 2 or 3 laps around here? No, it's been OK this week. I don't think I've been going quick enough to bother them, to be quite honest.
I think when it's sunny and that, though, your joints move a bit easier, don't they?
Yeah, that's true enough.
So, you're hoping, fingers crossed, that everything's right. Have you done any testing since you've finished off the work?
No, we've really just taken a chance. Ian's setup's going really well, so I've just copied that. And keep me fingers crossed, we've got it right.
OK, Lee, set to go then. I inadvertently said you'd had a fair week, and in fact I find out now nothing of the kind.
No, it's been a terrible week, really. It's been quite well, though, so I can get used to the circuit being my first time here. But I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to this.
It's quite a lot to learn, though, isn't it? And the passenger's equally an important part of the crew here as the driver.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there's a lot of places where you think you've got to work and you don't have to, and you wear yourself out. So hopefully now I've got it sorted.
Does he put his foot in your back if you go to get up and you don't have to?
Yeah, things like that, yeah.
Not so easy with these trays on the back, though. At one time with the passenger alongside, the driver could drive with his foot and stop the passenger getting up, except when he had to.
That's right. I mean, they're only about 2.5 foot wide by a foot and a half long, so there's not a lot of room to sit on, really.
Not much comfort about the job, is there?
Not really, no. It's not going down towards Glentrammon and places like that, no. It's not very comfortable.
OK, hang on tight, but not too tight, and a break before the start.
Some important reminders to make watching the TT an enjoyable and safe experience. Stay away from prohibited areas. They've got your safety in mind. Don't have your legs on the racing side of a wall or hedge. Apart from exposing them to greater risk, in an emergency, you won't be able to move away from the danger quickly enough. Before settling in a place to watch the race, think about whether it's safe. Ask yourself what you would do if a bike went out of control. Think about safety. Your own.
Noch ein paar kurze Bemerkungen, die die TT zu einer schönen und sicheren Veranstaltung werden lassen. Haltet euch nicht an den Stellen auf, die man nicht betreten darf. Sie sind als solche gekennzeichnet. Haltet euch an das, was Marshals und Polizei sagen. Sie haben nur eure Sicherheit im Sinn. Wenn ihr schon auf dem Mäuerchen sitzt, dann bitte so, dass eure Beine auf der straßenabgewandten Seite sind. Im Zweifelsfall habt ihr sonst keine Chance, schnell zu reagieren. Bevor ihr euch für irgendeine Stelle entscheidet, von der aus ihr die Rennen gucken wollt, denkt drüber nach, wie sicher sie ist. Und fragt euch, was ihr tun würdet, falls gerade ihr etwas passiert. Denkt an Sicherheit. An eure eigene.
We had one and the wheel fell off. OK, up to the line we go then, and the outfit's starting singly at 10 seconds to be led away by Roy and Phil, and there doesn't seem to be any particular last-minute dramas here on the grid. The crews are certainly out a lot earlier than the solo boys were. They're not so bothered about hiding away from the media. And those engines now will be up to temperature, and shortly the clutches will be dropped. In fact, on the sidecars, I believe you more or less take your hand off the clutch, let the back wheel spin, shut the throttle and let the wheel bite down to the rock and then get away, rather like a hill climb. You often hear the wheel spin on the sidecars, and it sometimes catches you that the clutches are going, but in fact that is never the case. It's just sheer power being transmitted through these big fat tyres. And when you see now, number one, something I've not observed before, the rider's toes sticking out just ahead of the wheel, which of course presumably will be the back brake, or in fact it could be the gears, but either way his toe is only about 2 inches above the road. One bump and you would think you'd take all your toes off. So it's not a comfortable ride by any means. It's a very, very rough ride indeed, and the bumps in the Glentrammon area and places like that, Kerramore, it must be a really rough run. So the outfits are all lined up. I don't see any particular flapping. They're all in the correct order right up to number 10 at the dummy gate, and as far as the eye can see with the rest of the field, this is going to be quick. Fisher will probably win, but it's got to be reliable. And now with the 1 minute board, over to Peter.
Thanks, Jeff, and what a difference to 43 years ago when the sidecar races were reintroduced in 1954, but on the 10.7-mile clip circuit. And that was the days that Eric Oliver on a Norton was winning the races ahead of the BMWs. But this is 1997, and they don't turn right at the top of Bray Hill. They take that dramatic plunge, which must be like going off the edge of the earth at the speeds these outfits will be travelling. So, Chief Timekeeper John Stott is in the starting rostrum. Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs wait the signal. Any moment now, the race will be underway. The final seconds are ticking away. John stares at the watch, and there we go. This is number 1. That's the Beale Ireson. Now number 2, Rob Fisher and Rick Long. They rewrote the record books in 1995 and 1994 and 1995. Can they rewrite them in 1997? Mick Boddice, what a supporter of the races he's been. His father Bill rode in the TT sidecar races on the Clip circuit. He races now, and so does his son. Number 4, Kenny Howells with the local passenger, Doug Jewell. They're away safely. Now, another double winner from a few years ago, Jeff Bell. He's got Lee Farrington in the chair. 4th last year. Can he go 1 or 2 or maybe 3 better? Number 6, Richard Crossley and Steve Taylor with the LRS Yamaha from Leeds. And number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter. He first rode here in 1995, and he had a dramatic race. In the first race, he went right up through the leaderboard. I think he started like number 32, and he was 13 plus when they came to the second race. So fast was he. Number 8 now, and that's Peter Nuttall and Nick Crowe, 7th last year, and a member of the manufacturer's winning team. Number 9, the colourful outfit and the loud outfit of Vince and Graham Biggs. Now one you never miss. Number 10, Eddie Wright and Rod Pierce with the bright day glow orange outfit. Eddie's Motorcycle Centre, of course, sponsor him, and that is Eddie himself. Number 11 now, and this is John Potts and Simon Bartrop on the Hayes Honda 600. They come from Warrington. A gap now for numbers 12 and 13, but it's interesting to note that for the first time, and we'll keep an eye on this, we do have a lady driver in the sidecars. Wendy will be going off. I'm just trying to check her number. I'll find it, and there she is indeed. Higher than I thought, number 45. Wendy Davis and Martin Roberts are the Honda 600, the first ever lady driver. Number 14 gets away now, and number 14, John Holden. Ian Watson in the chair, number 15, Mick Boddice Jr. and Chris Hollis. Mick missed last year's races because the machine wasn't ready, and he was really, as they say, sick as a parrot that he couldn't race, but he's back this year. Number 16, Robert Parker and Guy Scott, Ireson Yamaha 600. He's away safely. Now the first of our Continentals, Lars Schwartz, with local man Colin Hartman in the chair. Swedish rider who supported the TT for many, many years and had some very good results as well, especially when they were riding the 700s. 18, Bruce Moore and Dave Bilton with the Ireson Honda 600. He's away safely. Next will be number 19. That's Gary Horsbull and Kevin Lee with the Shelbourne UK Honda. Number 20, Tony Baker and Ian Simmons. He's away safely. Number 21 lines up. We take a break.
The Sidecar Commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Curse you, Luke Skywalker. Not only do you look good, but you are fully protected. It must be the Force.
Too right, Tin Chops. It's the new Force 7 from FM. Not only comfortable, but also the coolest looking helmet.
The FM Force is with you.
FM helmets. Top riders swear by them.
Coming this November, a new box office blockbuster. Pure romance, quick thrills, excitement, even without the rubber and leather. A cast of world-famous stars together for a limited time only. From the 7th to the 16th of November, the International Motorcycle Show at the NEC Birmingham. Your feet may never touch the ground again.
Joey Dunlop isn't riding.
That's a shame.
Phil McCallum isn't riding.
That's a shame too.
Jim Moody's not riding either.
You what? Who is then?
Some of the best motocross men in the country.
In the TT?
No, in the Manx Motocross at West Kimerick Sanctuary at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow the signs north from Solby Bridge or Parliament Square.
Well, we're up to 29, and that is Steve Sinnott with local passenger Dave Corlett. 16th last year with a bronze replica. Away safely, number 30 now is Cliff Pritchard and Kevin Morgan from Shrewsbury. Another bright yellow outfit next will be number 31, Rob Cameron and Paul Randall from Sevenoaks. And a checkered outfit next will be number 32, that's Alan Schofield and Andrew Thornton. But now it's time to go ahead of the field to motorcycle news at Glen Helen.
Yes, thank you, Peter. We await the arrival of the first outfits. I suspect it could well be Rob Fisher, because he certainly had a considerable advantage in practice times over the first man away, Roy Hanks. But here is the first crew in view, and it is Fisher. Fisher in the lead on the road with Hanks behind him. So, well, at least we got that one right. So Rob Fisher with Rick Long in the chair. A lot of changes of passenger from last year. But Rob Fisher expected to win this race, but who knows? It's 3 laps, and well, I think it's noticeable a lot of the Sidecar outfits only did standing laps during practice. But Rob Fisher safely through Glen Helen on lap 1. Second place for him last year, following that tremendous performance of Molyneux. Number 3, Mick Boddice, Dave Wells on the Honda Britain, and here's Howells, so he's caught up time on Boddice, no doubt about that. So Howells with Doug Jewell in the chair safely through Glen Helen on lap 1. Rob Fisher leads on the road from Hanks, then Boddice, then Howells, but Howells up on time, and I suspect Rob Fisher is still leading, but Howells could well be in second place. We'll get those times as soon as we can. This is Jeff Bell, number 5, and Lee Paddington. We've already heard they've not had too good a week so far, but they're safely through Glen Helen on lap 1. 4th place for them last year. 7, Ian Bell, Neil Carpenter. Ian has 12th and 7th in the 2 races last year, and he's caught up time on Jeff. Number 6, Richard Crossley, so Ian Bell's overtaken him. But all the first 7 numbers are safely through Glen Helen on lap 1. Number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. So Vince and Graham on the Molyneux Yamaha, ahead there of Peter Nuttall and Nick Crow. A few local drivers, but of course a lot more local passengers, and they'll be enjoying it in this sunshine. We've already heard how much they were looking forward to it. But that's what the first 9 cruised safely through here at Glen Helen on lap 1. Rob Fisher leading on the roads from Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs. Mick Boddice then, and then Kenny Howells. Number 2, Rob Fisher leads from number 9, who's well up, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. Number 10 is Eddie Wright and Rod Pierce. But the race leader after this first 9.5 miles is Rob Fisher and Rick Long with a 5-second advantage over Vince and Graham Biggs. In 3rd place, number 7, is Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter. They're 2 seconds down on outfit number 9, Vincent Graham Biggs. They're followed by joint 4 and 1. 14, the highest number so far, John Holden and Ian Watson. They were going well in practice, very wide around here, but safely through. Number 11, John Potts and Simon Bartrup. So John Holden and Ian Watson must have pulled out a lot of time there. They were 2 9th place finishes last year, and going really well in practice, and certainly going really well on that first 9.5 miles. But it's number 2, Rob Fisher and Rick Long, who lead by 5 seconds from Vincent Graham Biggs. In 3rd place, number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter, 2 seconds down on the Biggs. 15 now, Mick Boddice Jr. and Chris Hollis. In joint 4th place of those that have gone through, we've got Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs jointly with Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell. They're just 5 seconds down on Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter. Those are the first 5 on corrected time, lap 1 at Glen Helen in this Sidecar event. Another machine interview, round the right-hander, into the left. Number 17, Lars Schwartz and Colin Hardman and other of the local passengers. They take it through safely as well. So number 2, Rob Fisher, as expected, leads. Number 16 is Robert Parker and Guy Scott on the Ison Yamaha, followed very closely by number 19, Gary Horspool and Kevin Lee. Then number 18, Bruce Moore and Dave Bilton on the Ison Yamaha. Ison Honda, in fact, that one, the 600, there from Mansfield. That's Bruce Moore and Dave Bilton, number 18, the highest number so far. Number 2 leads. Number 2, Rob Fisher and Rick Long by 5 seconds. Number 20, Tony Baker and Ian Simmons, followed by 22, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby. They were 13th last year. So 5 seconds the advantage for Rob Fisher over number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. They've pulled out quite a lot of time there. Great performance from number 9. Number 21 is Dick Hawes and Eddie Kiff. Retirement last year at the Highlander, but they've safely negotiated this first 9.5 mile. Moving up into 3rd place, number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. We said they were going pretty well. They're only 1 second down on number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. 1 second ahead then of number 7, Ian Bell. Also moving up, number 22. That's a good one to watch, Gregory Lambert. 24 also through is Alan Warner. But making a stop here, number 23, Conrad Harrison and David Mahon. Obviously problems for them. They've pulled in, and some difficulties there for them. That's Conrad Harrison and David Mahon stopped here at Glen Helen. But the race order, number 2, Rob Fisher and Rick Long by 5 seconds from number 9, Vincent Graham Biggs. Then in 3rd place, number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson, 1 second down on that. Number 26 is Des Founds and Dickie Gale, followed very closely by 27, Rod Bellis and Jeff Knight. They were a retirement at Belig last year, just down the road from us. We've given you third place. That's number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. 1 second down on Vincent Graham's Biggs, and 1 second ahead of fourth place crew, number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter. They in turn are 2 seconds ahead of number 22, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby. 2 together, 29 round the outside of 25 there. Fantastic stuff. Steve Sinnott there taking Brian Pedder. Just to repeat that, the 22 is in 5th place. That's Gregory Lambert, 3 seconds ahead of joint 6th place. Outfits 4 and 1. That's 32 through. They are in turn 5 seconds ahead of joint 8th place man, number 3 and 19, followed by 5, 8 and 15. That's Glen Helen lap 1. With that, back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Joey Dunlop isn't riding.
That's a shame.
Phil McCallum isn't riding.
That's a shame too.
Jim Moody's not riding either.
You what? Who is then?
Some of the best motocross men in the country.
In the TT?
No, in the Manx Motocross at West Kimerick Sand Quarry at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow the signs north from Sulby Bridge or Parliament Square.
Motorcycle News is the world's #1 for up-to-the-minute sports action and results. From Daytona to Donington, Motorcycle News is first with news, first with features, first with facts and interviews from the top riders and race teams. Read our road tests on all the latest bikes, product tests on all the latest gear, and with our huge Bike Mart advertising section, you've got more than just one chance of buying the bike you want fast. Motorcycle News every Wednesday.
Wanna get blown?
When did you last ride a bike that was so much fun it blew you away? I mean, really blew you. Buell Demo Rides, daily, from the Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom.
Buell American Motorcycles. Different in every sense.
And gobbling good fun.
Right, let's get a quick update then from Morris.
Yes, indeed, Peter, thank you. Just to tell you that outfit number 32, that's Alan Schofield and Andrew Thornton, we've moved them up into 8th place. So the order is 2, 9, 14, 7, 22, 4 and 1 together in joint 6th place, then 32, then in joint 9th place, 3 and 19, followed by 11th, number 5, 12th, number 8, 13th, number 15. Back to you at the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Fine, thanks very much indeed, and we'll be interested to see what sort of lap speeds are going. Rob Fisher leading on the roads and leading the race, of course, by those 5 seconds in, 9 miles, so about half a second a mile. Travelling marshals just set to go off on a tour of their very important duties as we go to Motorcycle News. Ramsey.
Yes, not just Alan Schofield you could keep your eyes on, but Tom Hanks, I would suggest, number 36, and probably Wally Saunders, number 49, may well come into the reckoning. They'll have to be shuffled in, and that could cause problems with keeping up for the pit signallers around the circuit. Well, waiting on the race leader on the road, and Rob Fisher, tremendous style. In fact, very, very lucky to be here. I was up at Cadwell Park 5 weeks ago when he was involved in a multiple 4-machine prang, and it was suspected that he'd got a broken leg, but he's got torn ligaments in the knee, and here's Rob and Rick. Charge and fitter at the Sellafield Nuclear Power Station, Rob Fisher. He really is a quality act around the Isle of Man circuit. 4 times the TT winner, as in second place, carries a big number 1. That's Roy Hanks with Phil Biggs in the chair. Got to sort the Biggses out. I think there's about 5 or 6 of them that to go racing, Phil Biggs. You've got Vince with his nephew Graham. That's Vince and nephew Graham. Phil Biggs there, that's the nephew of Vince, and he actually rides with Roy at the TT, but when he's not at the TT, Roy has Robert Biggs. If you're following this, we're going to ask for written explanations, because Robert is only 17, and the regulations, I think, say you've got to be 18. It's Kenny Howells. This is a good charge here by Kenny Howells. Oh, and it really is a good one. And chasing up behind him is Mick Bodice. Well, Bodice he's been passed by Kenny Howells, so Howells is on the way. Kenny Howells with the Silkaleen, Trevor Arison, Mistral Engineering, Yamaha, with support from Motorcycle Mart of Kidderminster. And would you believe this is Kenny's first race of the year? He's passed Mick Bodice on the circuit, and this is Bell. This is Bell Ian, number 7, and he's quick, and he's ahead of Jeff. Oh, and he's well ahead of Jeff, the younger of the Bell brothers. Ian Bell has passed our kid. Well, poor old Jeff, he's not had the best of luck during the qualifying period, and in fact at one stage he was all for throwing the towel in. He said, if things don't get any better, I am not coming back to the TT in the future. He was so depressed. Now this is Vince Biggs, Vincento Biggs, with the Hutton Engineering outfit, Holton, I should say, Holton Fabrications, Vince Biggs, 47-year-old from Chester, with the Holton Fabrications Dave Molyneux chassis Yamaha. That is almost an identical rig as to the one that Dave Molyneux used last year in setting up his super lap record. Peter Nuttall, in fact, it's Richard Crossley, Crossley Racing, Richard Crossley, 46-year-old Richard, with the LRS Yamaha, standing for Lisa and Richard's Sidecar, would you believe. They got married here on the island just 12 months ago. And I inquired rather tentatively whether they do the same thing as they do with the sidecar passengers. Seems every season they sort of throw them into the melting pot and move one around because the passengers don't stay with their drivers long. But he said, no, she's a lovely lass, and a lovely lass she is. Lisa, she'll be keeping her eyes on the scores and the times. And this is number 14, and this is John Holden. He too was involved in that multiple machine crash at Cadwell Park. Nice line, really nice line there from John, or Mum's here today, so we ought to be correct on this one. John Ben Holden. Mum's come to watch her boy. This is Eduardo Wright, number 10, Steady Eddie, 46-year-old from Tadcaster. The man who retired last year, didn't enter the TT races and retired from Formula 2 sidecar racing, but the bug bit him and he couldn't stay away. Fisher, 15 seconds up of those that have gone through, ahead of joint second place. And it was a quick approach by number 7, Ian Bell. So Ian Bell and Vince Biggs joint second behind Rob Fisher, 15 seconds back. And then John Holden just 1 second down on Bell and Vince Biggs. So John Holden, number 14, is running in 4th place. And then we have equal 6th position. That is number 1, Roy Hanks. And it also in there, number 4, Kenny Howells. This is number 15. This is Michael Bodice Jr. Well, the way we sort them out on the short circuits is Michael for junior and Mick for dad. Oh, this is a bit of a wide approach. Well held, sir. Number 11, John Potts from Warrington, and his 3rd TT. Been doing a lot of racing abroad as John. 19, Gary Horsepole, Gaza Horsepole. He missed the TT last year. There's Lars Schwartz. Lars Schwartz, number 17, with the LGMV RS Honda. Bit of a mouthful. The Scandinavian, Lars. It stands for Lars Gjosta Mechanical Varsked. 22, that's the TB Bros outfit of Greg Lambert. Greg, 28 years of age, just a week ago. And Tony Darby, his passenger, would you believe he's passengered for no less than 81 drivers in his career. And I pause there because Bruce Moore was up on 2 wheels and about to eject the passenger out, but he hung on there. Number 20, the next rider up was Tenny Baker. Bruce Moore, number 18, on a charge. One of the top junior karting drivers a few years ago was Bruce Moore. Would you believe it? He raced and he beat the names, such names as David Coulthard, who of course now runs for McLaren Formula 1, Johnny Herbert, the Sauber driver, and Dario Franchitti, who's racing in the States, but lack of cash and he had to turn to sidecars. 16 and 21, Rob Parker, 16 and 21, Dick Hawes. And it really is very, very tight. So what have we got? Number 2, Rob Fisher, 15 seconds up on 7 and 9, Ian Bell and Vince Biggs, who are just 1 second up on number 14, John Holden. He is 7 seconds up on number 22, Greg Lambert, but just 1 second up on numbers 1 and 4, and that is Roy Hanks and Kenny Howells. So Rob Fisher is the leader, 15 seconds up on equal second, Bell, that's Ian and Vince Biggs. In 4th place, it is number 14, John Holden, just 1 second back. Then 5th place, number 22, that's Greg Lambert. That's number 24 going through there with the Trevor Harrison outfit, Alan Warner. Evening all. Was that the same Alan Warner? Oh, no. Anyway, John Holden, yes, 1 second behind. Then Greg Lambert, 7 seconds back, number 22. And then we have Roy Hanks and the Tawny Owl, who are 1 second back on them. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 7 drivers. We'll give the passengers next time around. 26 is Des Pounds. Number 26, Des Pounds. Incidentally, Jeff Cannell referring to Dave Saville, and we'll talk about the fun that Des Pounds got in a moment. Oh, Schofield's on his way. Number 32, Schofield is on his way. He lapped at 104 in only his second appearance here last evening, and he is delighted with that. We're going to have to shuffle him in somewhere, but I don't think we've got a chance because we're going to have to go back very shortly to the main start line because the leaders will be thundering across and running down on toward the Brandywell section and up toward Cronknamona as Rob Cameron, number 31, who lives on the doorstep of Brands Hatch down there in Kent. Rob Fisher, number 2, 15 seconds ahead of joint second, Ian Bell, number 7, and Vince Biggs, number 9. So we go back now to find out if it's changed at the Motorcycle News start line.
The Sidecar Commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Joey Dunlop isn't riding.
That's a shame.
Phil McCallum isn't riding.
That's a shame too.
Jim Moody's not riding either.
You what? Who is then?
Some of the best motocross men in the country.
In the TT?
No, in the Manx Motocross at West Kimerick Sand Quarry at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow the signs north from Solby Bridge or Parliament Square.
Let Pirelli Dragon Radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tyres guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in the world's toughest tyre test, 97 sees more riders than ever riding on Pirelli. Fit Pirelli Dragon Radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
Buell S1 Lightning, hooligan torque beast. More torque than a talkie monster from Torquay. Test ride a Buell from the Stakis Hotel, Douglas Prom, 10 till 4:30 daily.
Buell American Motorcycles. Different in every sense.
And very, very torquey.
And very, very fast is Rob Fisher, number 2, indicated leading on the roads at Cronknamona. I can hear a machine now, and here he is. Crosses the line, stop the watch, and I make that a lap in 20 minutes and 43 seconds. 20 minutes, 43 seconds at 125 miles an hour through the total MEA speed trap. 20 minutes, 43 seconds, and that's just 20 seconds outside the absolute lap record for sidecars. Number 1, Roy Hanks, should be next along. He is indeed. With young Philip Biggs tucked right down, he goes through at 122 miles an hour. So 125 from Fisher, the fastest to date. And confirmation of a lap in 20 minutes, 43.5, 109.23 miles an hour for Rob Fisher on the opening lap. 20 minutes, 43.5, 109.23 miles per hour, just, 20 seconds, 20.1 to be exact, outside the lap record set last year. But that, of course, was from a clutch start, so the second lap could be that much quicker. 2 outfits. The first is number 4, Kenny Howells, Mick Boddas with Dave Wells in the chair behind him on the Honda Britain 600 outfit. That's number 7, Ian Bell. He's through safely. And number 1, Roy Hanks, had a lap in 21 minutes, 20 seconds, 106.11. And on corrected time is 36 seconds behind number 2. But of course, a few to slot in. Here's number 5, Jeff Bell, double winner just a couple of years ago. But, as he's heard, not on the pace this year. And this is number 9, the checkered outfit of Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. Number 4, Kenny Howells, had a lap in 21 minutes, 27.3, 105.51. And he is slotted in at the moment in 3rd place. But, of course, number 9 could well slot in there. Number 14, one of the top men, John Holden, Ian Watson, indicated at Cronknamona. 2-1 for Mick Boddas, had a lap in 21 minutes, 38.8, 104.57. But number 2, Fisher, the leader, with a lap at 109, 110 he did in practice. He could well do that on his second circuit. That's number 6 circulating, and that is Richard Crossley and Steve Taylor. And I think it's time now. We'll get a leaderboard in a moment, but let's take a break.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Curse you, Luke Skywalker. Not only do you look good, but you are fully protected. It must be the Force.
Too right, Tin Chops. It's the new 4.7 from FM. Not only comfortable, but also the coolest looking helmet.
The FM Force is with you.
FM helmets. Top riders swear by them.
Motorcycle News is the world's #1 for up-to-the-minute sports action and results. From Daytona to Donington, Motorcycle News is first with news, first with features, first with facts and interviews from the top riders and race teams. Read our road tests on all the latest bikes, product tests on all the latest gear, and with our huge Bike Mart advertising section, you've got more than just one chance of buying the bike you want fast. Motorcycle News every Wednesday.
Right, number 2, Fisher leading by 24.2 seconds from number 7, Ian Bell, at the end of the first lap. A further 3.6 seconds down in third place, number 9, Vince and Graham Biggs. Then we have a gap of 3.7 seconds to number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. But of course, we're waiting now for number 22, who goes through now, who should be in that 5th spot. So it's still the same as it was at Ramsey, but the time interval has gone up by 9 seconds. Number 2, Rob Fisher, a further 9 seconds for a lead of 24.2 seconds over number 7, that's Ian Bell. In third place, number 9, Vince Biggs, 3.6 seconds down. And in 4th place, number 14. And in 5th place, we have number 22. Sorry, in 4th place, number 22, by 1 second only. So number 22, that's Greg Lambert, has taken that 4th place from number 14, John Holden, by 1 second only. So the order is 2, 7, 9, 22, 14, 1 and 4 at the moment. The opening lap, 20 minutes, 43.5, 109.23 miles an hour. We were talking about Wendy Davies, number 45. She got away safely. She was the first lady driver to complete the Southern 100 races last year when she finished 6th overall. And now I think it's time to go to Morris at the MCN Glen Helen.
Yes, thank you, Peter. So, number 2, Rob Fisher and Rick Long with an extended advantage, 24 seconds. 9 seconds they pulled out from Ramsey, but they're here now through Glen Helen for lap 2. Very, very quick indeed. They look totally different to most of the other outfits, and an opening lap of 109, and certainly the lap record would appear to be on. It was broken twice last year by Dave Molyneux and Pete Hill. First in the race A, when they did 109.81 for the race, and the record lap of 110.63, and then smashed that again in race B with a race record average of 110.28 and a record lap of 111.02, but only 20 seconds off that is Fisher. There's number 1, Roy Hanks and Phil Biggs circulating, but uncorrected time down in about 6th place. We await the arrival of Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter to see whether the advantage has been extended yet again in this 9.5 mile run from the grandstand. And a tremendous performance in perfect conditions. Rob Fisher, he had Boyd Hutchinson in the chair last year. He's got Rick Long with him this year. And already he's pulled out, 30 seconds plus, I suspect. The next crew on the road could be Kenny Howells, I think, was next on the road, with Mick Boddice just behind him, before we get number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter. But he could well be amongst those soon. But it is Howells. Howells still 3rd on the road. Howells and Doug Jewell in the chair, the local man. Then 3, then 7. It's as quick as that. So Mick Boddice and Dave Wells about to be passed, I suspect, by Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter, who are in that 3rd place. And I suppose he'll problems there, I suppose, for Ian Bell. He'll have to get round them if he needs to make any inroads at all into that lead that Rob Fisher and Rick Long have, which I suspect should be extended now. But we've got 1 or 2 of the later runners, number 14 and 22, notably, to see how that dice is going. Number 9, good performance as well by Vince and Graham Biggs. They were in 3rd place. Number 5 is next, Jeff Bell and Lee Farrington. Not quite on the pace, and we heard from Jeff and Lee earlier on that they'd had a lot of problems this week, but still circulating towards the end of the leaderboard, somewhere around about 9th or 10th place, I suspect. But there's no question about the leader, Rob Fisher and Rick Long. We wait for the arrival of John Holden and Ian Watson and look at how they're going with Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby, who've moved up very well from that start number of 22. But Fisher and Rick Long, of those gone through so far, lead from number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter, by 26 seconds. That's only just over a second more than it was at the grandstand. But number 7, Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter, have a 5-second advantage over number 9, Vince and Graham Biggs. And then in the 4th place, numbers 1, 4 and 3, but we've got some others to slot in yet. Here's 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. Double 9th place finish last year, ahead of number 6, dropping back Richard Crossley and Steve Taylor. So far, it's a 26-second advantage over Ian Bell that number 2, Rob Fisher, holds. In 3rd place, just 5 seconds separating Ian Bell from Vince Biggs. Vince Biggs, in turn, is 10 seconds ahead of number 1, Roy Hanks, as those that have gone through. Then it's 11 seconds further back is Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell, and they're 12 seconds ahead of Mick Boddice Sr. and Dave Wells. Number 14, John Hill and Ian Watson could well be the next outfit on the road. And it won't be too long before we get Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby. In fact, they've gone through and they are in 4th place. I must have missed those. Number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson, going really well. In fact, we did mention them when I come to think of it. 2.79 and 14, 6 seconds down on third place Vince Biggs and Graham's Biggs. That's 14 John Holden and Ian Watson, and 6 seconds ahead of number 1. Another outfit interview, 10 Eddie Wright and Rod Pierce. We'll just take those through. Roy Hanks in 5th place, 11 seconds ahead of number 4 Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell, who are in 5th, followed by number 6 Mick Boddice. There's number 19 and 22 right behind them. Gary Horspool and Kevin Lee with number 22 Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby on the TB600, very close to them there, so we'll try and slot those in, but there's no question about the race leader. It's number 2 Rob Fisher and Rick Long, 26 seconds ahead of Ian Bell and Neil Carpenter, and they are 5 seconds ahead of number 9 Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. Number 15 through is Mick Boddice Jr., and I can tell you that number 22 Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby have moved up to 3rd place. That's a fantastic performance. They did seem to be moving through the field, and I think they were around about 4th place at the grandstand, some 2.7 seconds behind Vince Biggs, but they've taken that place. They're up into 3rd. They're 4 seconds only down on Ian Bell. 17 is Lars Schwartz and Colin Hardman, other of the local passengers. So let's get back to this order. It's number 2, Rob Fisher, by 26 seconds from number 7, Ian Bell. Then in the new 3rd place man, number 22, Gregory Lambert, only 4 seconds down on number 7, Ian Bell, and 1 second ahead of number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. Number 20 is next. That's Tony Baker and Ian Simmons. Those are the first 4. So number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs in 4th place, are 4 seconds ahead of number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. Number 11 safely through is John Potts. So number 14, John Holden in 5th place. In 6th place, number 1, Roy Hanks. 7th is number 4, Kenny Howells. They're followed by 19, 3 and 5 in that order. With that, back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Greetings, Earthlings. Here is a message from the mighty airbox in the sky. Test ride a Buell at the Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom, 10 till 4:30 daily.
Buell American Motorcycles. Different in every sense.
And out of this world.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Joey Dunlop isn't riding.
That's a shame.
Phil McCallum isn't riding.
That's a shame too.
Jim Moody's not riding either.
You what? Who is there?
Some of the best motocross men in the country.
In the TT?
No, in the Manx Motocross at West Kimerick Sandquarry at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow the signs north from Selby Bridge or Parliament Square.
Let Pirelli Dragon Radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tyres guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in the world's toughest tyre test, 97 sees more riders than ever riding on Pirelli. Fit Pirelli Dragon Radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
Oh, TT fans, heavy weather warning today, I'm afraid. Cyclones, lightnings, thunderbolts, all ripping up a storm. Test ride a Buell from the Palace, Lido Car Park, Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom.
Buell American Motorcycles. Different in every sense.
And thundering good fun.
En tête selon les chronos, après le premier tour, c'est le numéro 2, Fischer et Long, 24,2 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 7, Bell et Carpenter. Eux, 3,6 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 9, Vince et Graham Biggs. Peter.
Thank you. Das Seitenwagenrennen sieht mit der Startnummer 2 Rob Fisher und Rick Long den Favoriten in Front. Sie haben 24,2 Sekunden Vorsprung vor Startnummer 7 Ian Bell und Neil Carpenter. Die beiden sind 3,6 Sekunden vor Startnummer 9 Vince Biggs und Graham Biggs, und ich gebe zurück an Peter Neal.
Number 3, Mick Boddice and Dave Wells have retired at the 11th milestone. Riders okay. And number 32, we have up into 9th place at Glen Helen. That's Alan Schofield and Andrew Thornton. 32 up into 9th position. And Wendy Davis had an opening lap of 25 minutes, 48 seconds. And now it's Motorcycle News Ramsey.
Yes, it's not going to be a lap record on a standing starter, or on Ramsey to Ramsey, I should say, because that's 20 minutes 23.4, and it's coming up to 20 minutes 38. Talking with Rob earlier on this morning, he was indicating that perhaps his ploy might well be to build up a bit of a lead and then look to the advantage from the pit boards, although he is a tad overdue at the moment. But here he comes. Don't panic back there at the Tyre Services, Express Tyre Services of Lockerbie, as he goes through with Rick Long, backed by Big Sam Hamilton of Express Tyre Services of Lockerbie. I know in the programme it does look a bit confusing when they condensed it down. It's Sam Hamilton, and when I saw Sam at Cadwell Park after he went down to inspect the outfit, he said, it's totaled, he said. There's no way he'll be at the TT. He's even broken his leg, but thankfully that was not the case, and torn ligaments were what were diagnosed. Number one was a bit of a funny line from Roy Hanks, running a ton out of brakes there. Roy Hanks, winner overall back in 1982 of the TT. He's got Philip Biggs in the chair with him, and if we talk about the Biggs boys, we've actually got Vince, who's the uncle, Graham and Jamie, they're twins, and the nephew, and Jamie, he's at the Austrian Grand Prix this weekend with Steve Abbott. Philip, who is with Roy, well, Philip Hanks, he is here just purely for the TT, whilst Robert, the youngest of the Biggs family, then he runs with Roy on the short circuits. And we're waiting now for Ian Bell. This is Kenny Howells, and Ian Bell is right with him. It's a very quick approach, it really is, and it's absolutely remarkable considering, always nice little wave there from, and I pause, they're on their way. That is 1 minute and 7 seconds, so that has gone up to what, 17 seconds then, or in fact come down to 17 seconds. In fact, we thought that Rob Fisher was on a somewhat sluggish lap, and that has come down in fact to 18 seconds. We've rounded up to 18 seconds. The gap has come down from 26 seconds down to 18 seconds. Ian Bell has pulled 8 seconds back on the run up from Glen Helen. This then is Vincenzo, number 9, Vince, 47-year-old Vince, 9th and 8th in the TT last year. Former Sidecar passenger Roy Hanks was Vince when they won the TT overall back in 1982. So, was it the fact that number 7, Ian Bell, had speeded up? No, because the timings would indicate that Rob Fisher was a tad overdue, but he's, and he locks the front wheel up. That's Jeff, and it ain't Jeff's weekend. He just locked the front end up then on the outfit. Jeff Bell, 2 times a TT winner back in 1992, 43-year-old young, the elder of the two. Ian Bell, the motorcycle dealer that enters the pairing. So, Patrick O'Hanlon alongside me confirms it as minus 18 seconds. So the boards will be going out to Rob Fisher to, if he's going to be running to those boards, that he's going to have to open up the taps just a tad sharper, because he is being closed down now by Ian Bell. It's a very rapid approach uphill. It really is here to the Ramsey hairpin. Number 14, John Ben Holden. And his lookalike passenger looks like Norman Burgess, simply because he's got Norman Burgess's leathers on, the old Norman Burgess leathers. Norman now working for Silkeleen, and indeed Silkeleen backing the Jacobs Yamaha squad of 40-year-old Ben from Clitheroe up there in Lancashire, now in his 5th season of racing. As I was saying, he too was involved in that 4-machine pile-up at Cadwell Park some 5 weeks ago, and it's a tremendous effort by the team that John, well, he didn't get too involved, but Rob Fisher, the outfit, was nigh on totaled, and it has been dramatically rebuilt. Outfit number 6, Richard Crossley. Richard Crossley, regular sidecar racer, once a year. I tell a fib, he also did the Southern 100 last year. Richard Crossley, number 46, ex-solo racer, has raced all solo classes and turned his hand to sidecars in 1990. And from my perch back at Bellaft Bridge in the days when we had the Manx Rodeo Point at Bellaft Bridge, he held the sidecar long jump record down there, did Richard Crossley. Whilst others knocked it off and just tiddled over the jump, he'd accelerate and would leap for about 50 yards. And I'm sure spectators down at Bellaft Bridge may well still see Richard Crossley, or he could have, of course, toned down in his old age. This then is the TB Bros entry, Tony Beecroft Motorcycles of Mossley. They incidentally are principally involved in motocross machinery, but it makes it so easy to spot, and just fighting the outfit to get it under control. Number 19 as he comes in towards us, Gazza Horsepole. Gazza Horsepole out of Sleaford in Lincolnshire. You can see the effort he's putting in on braking, and the boy who finished 3rd in the Formula 2 British Championship last year. Much steady approach from Eddie, as you would expect. Steady Eddie, Eduardo Wright, number 10, backed by General Guarantee for Finance as well here at the TT. Ian Bell, 3 seconds up now on Greg Lambert. We can shuffle Greg Lambert in. So it's Rob Fisher, 18 seconds up on number 7, Ian Bell, who is just 3 seconds up on Greg Lambert. So Lambert's pulled a couple of seconds back on that. He's the boy on the ascendancy, and he is 4 seconds up on number 9, Vince Biggs. That is outfit number 15, Michael Bodice Jr. No TT last year, not because he'd fallen out with the TT, but it was simply because the Trevor Arison outfit that he had ordered wasn't delivered on time. Trevor had gone down with pneumonia earlier on in the year, so his order book was a little bit late. So we've got Vince Biggs then running in 4th place, that's number 9, and he is 5 seconds up ahead of number 14, John Holden, as Lars Schwartz comes into view. Number 17, popping and banging. Or did he just pull a pigeon out of the sky? Huh. Well, he's through anyway. He's all right. And 4 seconds back on him is number 1, Roy Hanks. So that is the pecking order at the moment. We were just saying earlier on about the Des Founds outfit, number 26, and he's backed his mechanic, Big Phil, 30 stone Phil, and Phil is going on a sponsored slim, would you believe, the proceeds of which will go toward providing satellite TV at the Southport Paraplegic Unit, and that is the unit where Dave Saville is. Any interested sponsors, of course, can contact Phil via Des in the Paddock Hotel. So let's just recap then, before we go back toward the start line, and it is second time here at Ramsey Hairpin. Rob Fisher, number 2, 18 seconds up on number 7, Ian Bell, who is 3 seconds up on number 22, Greg Lambert, who is 4 seconds up on number 9, Vince Biggs, 5 seconds up on John Holden, number 14, 4 seconds up on number 1, Roy Hanks, and that was Bruce Moore, number 18, on his way, and we go on our way to the Motorcycle News start line.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Wanna get blown?
When did you last ride a bike that was so much fun it blew you away? I mean, really blew you. Buell demo rides daily from the Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom.
Buell American motorcycles, different in every sense.
And gobbling good fun.
Profis fahren Arai. Arai-Helme, weltweit die Nummer 1. Holt euch eure Arai-Helme in Deutschland in allen Goto-Helm-Studios. Übrigens, Goto-Helm-Studio und die Freizeitidee bieten super Reisetouren für euren nächsten Inseltrip an. Arai, there's a difference.
Coming this November, a new box office blockbuster. Pure romance, quick thrills, excitement, even without the rubber and leather. A cast of world-famous stars together for a limited time only. From the 7th to the 16th of November, the International Motorcycle Show at the NEC Birmingham. Your feet may never touch the ground again.
While we wait for the leaders on the second lap to come through, let's bring you up to date on retirements. We mentioned number 3, Mick Boddice, retired at the 11th milestone. Number 8, Peter Nuttall, has retired at Kirkmichael Village. I paused there for a moment because number 1, Roy Hanks, would appear to be leading on the road according to the lights. Number 2, Rob Fisher, the light not on. In fact, the clock not moved to the bungalow as yet. So, number 1, Roy Hanks, according to the lights, appears to be leading on the road. We'll wait for more information and confirmation on that, of course. I'll continue, though, with the retirements. Number 23, Conrad Harrison, retired at Glen Helen. 28, Peter Allabone, retired at Parliament Square. 48, David Stone, retired at the Highlander. 50, Mick Thompson, retired at Union Mills. 53, Stephen Galligan, retired at St Ninians. And 58, Michael Caine, retired at Ballaugh Bridge. Well, here's the first outfit to complete lap 2. Come into our... And it is number 1. Yes, it is number 1, Roy Hanks, leading on the road. So Rob Fisher has gone missing. Reported the engine smoking going up the mountain. So Rob Fisher, he's got as far as Guthrie's. That's all we know at the moment. But Rob Fisher, the firm favourite, is out of the Sidecar Race A. Rob Fisher, number 2, reported the engine smoking badly, climbing the mountain, got as far as Guthrie's, and then presumably has packed in. So 21:03, number 1, that's Roy Hanks, had a lap in 21 minutes and 3 seconds on that second lap. And that is an average speed of 107.51. So this race is turning on its head, isn't it? Mick Boddice, number 3, out. Number 2, Rob Fisher, out. This is number 4. That's Kenny Howells. He's safely through. He's got the local passenger, of course, Doug Jewell. Numbers 5 and number 9, that's the Bell and Biggs. And number 7, Ian Bell. No sign of him as yet. And that's number 9. Number 9, Vince Biggs is through. But the light not come on for number 7, the man who was putting on the pressure on Fisher. He appears to be in trouble. He's through the bungalow according to the clocks, but not reached the end of the race. But his brother, number 5, Jeff Bell, has, as has number 14, John Holden. So, what a strange sidecar race this is turning out to be. You think you have a pattern set, a close race in store, and suddenly the top men go missing. This is number 5. That's Jeff Bell with Lee Farrington in the chair, but he doesn't sound happy at all with that outfit. As he said, it was troublesome right throughout practice week, and while we try to recollect and find out a leaderboard for you here, let's take a commercial break.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Profis fahren Arai. Arai-Helme, weltweit die Nummer 1. Holt euch eure Arai-Helme in Deutschland in allen Goto-Helm-Studios. Übrigens, Goto-Helm-Studio und die Freizeitidee bieten super Reisetouren für euren nächsten Inseltrip an. Arai, there's a difference.
Manx legislation means that only pure ingredients can be used in brewing fine Manx beers. If you enjoy the atmosphere on the island that surrounds the racing and want to sample the beer, please put your car or van away before you do. This message is brought to you by the Isle of Man Road Safety Officer and Kingsmead Limited.
The Buell S1 Lightning, hooligan talk beast, more talk than a talk monster from Torquay. Test ride a Buell from the Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom, 10 till 4:30 daily.
Buell American motorcycles, different in every sense.
And very, very talky.
News on number 7, the man who was challenging for the lead, he retired at Windy Corner. So at Ramsey Hairpin, number 2, Rob Fisher was leading. He didn't quite make it to Guthrie's before retiring. Number 7 in second place. And we have the leader as number 22. Number 22, Greg Lambert, by 8 seconds from number 9, and that is Vince Biggs. And in third place, we have number 14, and that is John Holden. That's on our unofficial leaderboard here, but the comment was passed up here quite rightly that Greg Lambert's going to get quite a shock when he sees his next board to give him his position, because he was battling there and holding on to 4th place. He's confirmed now as the leader. And let's just get this information out, because number 22, Greg Lambert, with a lap at 108.22, is leading number 9, Vince Biggs, by 8.2 seconds. Third place, number 14, John Holden, and he is 5.2 seconds down on Biggs. In 4th place now, up comes Roy Hanks, number 1, and he is just 2.6 seconds down on number 14, Holden. And then there's a bit of a gap to 21 seconds before number 4, Kenny Howells. But suddenly, it's come down to, 8, 13, 15, 16 seconds between first, second, and third. And we're on the third and final lap, and what a lap this could turn out to be. As I say, it's 8.2 between first and second, 5.2 then between second and third, and then 2.6. So it's really a tremendous race with those time intervals, just the 16 seconds between first, second and third. Well, Morris, out there at the Motorcycle News at Glen Helen, you've got a new leaderboard coming, fella.
Indeed we have, Peter, and well, let's have a look at it. When Vince Biggs won 20, and number 22, Greg Lambert, 3:30, so 1:10, but there's Roy Hanks leading on the road. So started off as number 1, wouldn't expect to be leading on the road at this stage, I'm sure, having, seen Rob Fisher go past them a long time ago, so dramatic indeed. First 2 out on that lap. Is there any more to come? But they're safely through, Roy Hanks and Phil Biggs, and they've moved up into 4th place on corrected time. I think the second outfit on the road should probably be Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell. They're lying in overall 5th, but it's quiet for the moment. So yes, 1:20 the start time for Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs, and number 22, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby. What a tremendous performance by them, 3:30. They did go well in practice, but were in 11th place, and certainly I don't suppose would have expected in their wildest dreams to be leading this race, and certainly wouldn't have expected the pre-race favourite Rob Fisher to go out. But that's how it is. Here's Howells now, safely through Glen Helen for the 3rd time, so he's in 5th place on corrected time. Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell, 3rd place for them last year in both the races, both A and B. And we should be able to slot them in round about 5th place. But it'll be some time before the race leader on corrected time, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby, are due here. We've got 1 or 2 more crews to come, and one of them are these, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. They're in 2nd place. They had a 10th and an 8th last year. And they were just 8.2 seconds down on outfit number 22, Greg Lambert and Tony Darby, but it's very close because they were only 5.2 seconds ahead of John Holden and Ian Watson, and they'll be with us very shortly indeed. And certainly a lot of the lower leaderboard men will be moving up now with the departure of those Rob Fisher in first place and Ian Bell, who was holding on to second. And quite obviously, number 5, Jeff Bell and Lee Farrington, they've not going over well, but it's worth hanging in there now. Another crew going well were Gary Horsepole and Kevin Lee, and they'll be moving up. And number 32 is another one we need to look for. This is Jeff Bell and Lee Farrington, still circulating, so they'll be, 8th or 9th, something in that region. Number 32, Alan Schofield and Andrew Thornton, they were in 8th or 9th place, and they'll move up a couple of slots. Certainly could get on to the first 6. So, number 22, Greg Lambert and Tony Darby await their arrival now. Shouldn't be too long before they're with us here at Glen Helen. This is number 14 first, though, John Holden and Ian Watson. They're in third place on corrected time. They were just 5.2 seconds down on Vince and Graham Biggs. So they've been gone just a few seconds now. Their start time was 2:10. Number 22, Greg Lambert, was 3:30. So a maximum we'd have to wait is 1:20, but if we take off 13, perhaps a minute or so scheduled before we get the race leader, Greg Lambert and Tony Darby. Of those that have gone through, number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs, they're just 5 seconds ahead of Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs. And number 14, well, that must change things as well, because John Holden and Ian Watson are 10 seconds behind Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs, and that's a change from what it was at the grandstand. In fact, that will mean that Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs will move up into third place. Still holding second place should be number 9, Vince Biggs and Graham Biggs. 22, race leader, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby. Well, they should have had their signals by now. They're ahead there on the road of Richard Crossley and Steve Taylor, number 6, who are still circulating. But as you mentioned, that would be a surprise for them, Greg Lambert and Tony Darby, but they'll have had those signals, and they've, some 28 miles to go for what will be a tremendous win for them, I'm sure. Number 22, they lead this race. Just looking back, number 19, we said they were going quite well, Gary Horsepole and Kevin Lee, but 13 seconds the advantage, so having got notification, they pulled a further 5 seconds out over Vince and Graham Biggs. 13 seconds the lead for number 22, Gregory Lambert and Tony Darby at Glen Helen on the third and final time, 22 and 9, the order. Then in third place, we'll have Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs, of those that have gone through. They'll be followed by number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. Then in fifth place, outfit number 4, Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell. And fifth, number 19, sixth, in fact, number 19, Gary Horsepole. So the order, 22 leads Gregory Lambert by 13 seconds from number 9. And I understand we've got to watch for number 36, who's motoring through. That's Tom Hanks and Steve Wilson. That's number 10. Is Eddie Wright, who could well be up into fifth place, I think. Number 36, Tom Hanks and Steve Wilson. We might not be able to hang on for them because they obviously had a start time, 5:50. But that's certainly one to watch. They could be ahead of our current place, fifth place. That's Kenny Howells, outfit number 4. Number 15, Mick Boddice Jr., Chris Hollis. Well, he'll have seen Mick Boddice Sr. out of the race. So number 22 leads Gregory Lambert by 13 seconds from number 9, Vince Biggs. Then 5-second advantage to Roy Hanks in third place. Roy Hanks 10 seconds ahead of number 14, John Holden. John Holden in turn is 13 seconds ahead of Kenny Howells. Kenny Howells 14 seconds ahead of sixth place man, number 19, Gary Horsepole. We'll pulse you those later runners when we can get them, but for the moment it's back to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Joey Dunlop isn't riding.
That's a shame.
Phil McCallum isn't riding.
That's a shame too.
Jim Moody's not riding either.
You what? Who is then?
Some of the best motocross men in the country.
In the TT?
No, in the Manx Motocross at West Kimerick Sandquarry at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Follow the signs north from Sulby Bridge or Parliament Square.
Let Pirelli Dragon Radials fire your imagination. Pirelli Sports and Sports Touring radial tyres guarantee high-speed stability and record-breaking performance. Proven here in the world's toughest tyre test, 97 sees more riders than ever riding on Pirelli. Fit Pirelli Dragon Radials to your machine and bring fantasy to life.
Quelqu'un a dit « Aujourd'hui est le premier jour du reste de votre vie. Faites en sorte que ce ne soit pas le dernier. Pour apprécier l'île de Man, ne la visitez pas trop vite. Alors, roulez doucement, roulez à gauche et roulez sobre. Ce message vous est transmis par le commandant de la sécurité routière manoise et Kingsmill Limited.
Après 2 tours, en tête le numéro 22, Lambert et Darby, 8,2 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 9, Vince et Graham Biggs, qui ont 5,2 secondes d'avance sur le numéro 14, Holden et Watson. Peter.
Merci, Mavis. Dramatisches an der Spitze. Mittlerweile führt Startnummer 22 Gregory Lambert mit Tony Darby. 8,2 Sekunden vor Startnummer 9 Vince Biggs und Graham Biggs. Die beiden haben 5,2 Sekunden Vorsprung vor Startnummer 14 John Holden und Ian Watson. Und ich gebe zurück an Peter Neal.
And let's get a quick update then from Morris in this very unusual sidecar race. Morris.
Yes, indeed it is, because outfit 36, Tom Hanks, is up into 5th place. He's just 9 seconds down on John Holden and 4 seconds ahead of Kenny Howells. That relegates number 19, Gary Horspool, to 7th, and number 32 is in 8th place. That's Alan Schofield. So 22, 9, 1, 14, 36, 4, 19 and 32. With that, back to the Motorcycle News Grandstand.
Right, well, that's updated, and that confirms what we had on our computer screen at the end of that second lap. 22, 9, 14, 1, 36 and 4, then 32 and 19. So, well, number 2, Fisher, out. Number 3, Mick Potter Sr., out. Number 7, Ian Bell, out. But still circulating, number 60 and going very nicely, thank you. And that was Dick Tapton and Guy Lowe with the Jacob Suzuki. But I wonder if we got any more drama to come from Motorcycle News, Ramsey?
Well, I think the drama within the Greg Lambert camp happened earlier on this week. On Thursday, we were talking last evening down at the Imperial Hotel. He popped along and having a bit of a chat, and I'll tell you about it in a moment, because here comes number 1, Roy Hanks, who leads on the road. Roy and Phil safely through the mountain climb to go. But yes, Greg Lambert, as I was saying, he popped into the Imperial to enjoy a pint, and there we were sat talking, and would you believe it, on Thursday he fell off the top of his van. It's about 10 foot tall, and I said, did you hurt yourself? He said, well, no, luckily I landed on my head, otherwise I could have done, but he could have put himself out by falling off the top of that van. It's a brand new outfit, incidentally, the new Dave Molyneux chassis. It's exactly the same setup as Dave had. It's a Yamaha Thundercat prepared by Slick Bass, and Slick, of course, known for his work with Carl Fogarty, and Slick, who prepared Dave Molyneux motor. So he's got exactly the same setup. It's brand new, this outfit. And the historic thing, of course, is, and I think he's a record breaker, Tony Darby in the chair, he has in his career passengered, would you believe, for no less than 81 different drivers. Greg Lambert is his 81st driver. Don't know whether the drivers fall out with him or he just likes to change. Well, there's Kenny Howells, number 4. Number 4, Kenny Howells, and his new passenger, Doug Jewell. Kenny, his first race of the year. Former mechanic to Mick Boddice. Had a go at sidecar passengering at Donington Park, went down Crown of Curves, fell out of the chair and said, there's absolutely no way in God's earth you're going to get me back in a sidecar chair. I am going to become a driver. He now lives at a little village called Craven Arms near Ludlow. As this then is Vince Biggs, number 9, go start the watch. It's, I think, a gap of 2 minutes 10 seconds, 2 minutes 10. Vince and Graham Biggs with the Halton Fabrications Dave Molyneux Yamaha, 9th and 8th in the TT last year. And Vince, former sidecar passenger to Roy Hanks, as indeed was Tom Hanks. And we're hearing about number 36, Tom Hanks, coming into the reckoning. And Tom, for so many years around the Isle of Man, was passenger to his uncle, Uncle Roy. And, well, he, a couple of years ago, decided he was going to be a sidecar driver. And by golly, has he proved his worth this year. The great emerging talent on the short circuit, young Tom Hanks. He's got a lap record now at the Mallory Park circuit and a lap record now at Cadwell Park, and currently 2nd in the Formula 2 British Championship. Young Tom. I say young, he's 27. This then, coming up toward us now, is number 5, and this is Jeff Bell. It's not been Jeff's afternoon, has it? Jeff with Lee Farrington. Bedlington, Northumberland, they come from. New passenger for Jeff this year at Lee Farrington. Incidentally, if they're out on the circuit anywhere around, give them a bit of a cheer and a bit of wave. Outfit number 68, the aging juveniles, Brian Roston, 63 years of age, and Ian Gemmell, 54 years of age, combined ages of 117. That's a bit younger, though. That's 40-year-old John Holden and Ian Watson, going through on the Silkerline Jacobs Yamaha. 2 9th places last year. Prior to that, their best was an 8th, and in fact they had 2 4ths. And if we look to the best so far, I mean, it makes very interesting reading, because Greg Lambert, he made his debut here at the TT in 1992, and would you believe the best placing they've had, or he's had, because I don't think he's had Tony Darby with him before. Although if he's driven for 81 different drivers, he probably had him and not even noticed. But 13th and 17th, the best placing in the TT, and that was last year for Greg Lambert. Other reason to celebrate? Well, he celebrated his birthday just 1 week ago. 28-year-old Greg from Catterick Garrison, which is up there by Richmond in North Yorkshire. And the ironic thing, as I said on the first lap, I think, was that sponsored by Terry Beecroft TB Motorcycles, and that's the Dayglow Yellow TB Motorcycles of Mossley near Leeds. And they're not into road racing, they're not into sidecar racing, they buy and sell motocross machines. We're waiting then on number 6, and this is Richard Crossley, and Steve Taylor giving us a bit of, oh dear, giving us a bit of a wave, and Richard Crossley gets it up on 2 wheels on his wagon, as we are looking then for number 19. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'll tell you what, Molly did it a couple of years ago, and we've had some extra armour put in here to protect us.
Fred, we want to interrupt you because we've had more news. Number 22, Greg Lambert, reported retired at the top of Bagarrow. 22, Greg Lambert, retired at the top of Bagarrow. What a race.
Well, retired at the top of Bagarrow. He didn't even get down to Kirkmichael, so what a race indeed. He left Glen Helen and didn't even get to where Bagarrow was short of the 11th milestone. So what was he? Only a couple of miles. Cronkervody straight and then down in toward the 11th milestone, on through Handleys, and then the run in toward the top of Bagarrow. So he did not even get as far as Kirkmichael. So this is then going to put Vince Biggs up into the driving seat, surely. Yes, and looking to the chart, I tell you what, Patrick, you're working exceedingly well. You're obviously smarter than you look. 4 seconds up on Roy Hanks. Vince Biggs then, the new driver, the new leader, number 9, Vince Biggs with his nephew Graham, look like they're going to take their first ever Sidecar TT win. But don't say it loudly, because we've said it before with Lambert, we've said it before with Fisher. Well, anything can happen. Here's Eddie Wright. He might even win it. Who knows? Stranger things have happened at sea. So it is Vince Biggs leading by 4 seconds from Roy Hanks, who is 17 seconds up on number 14, John Ben Holden. Well, Peter, as you were saying, what a topsy-turvy. There's nothing as certain as an uncertainty in the TT. As number 15 goes through there, Michael Bottas, the Kidderminster youngster. And what drama indeed, as we were hearing Rob Fisher, and I think that's just about it. And we probably could go back for an update with Morris back there at Motorcycle News, Glen Helen. Oh no, in fact it's not Morris down there. They're all getting in a bit of a twist up there in Mission Control, as well as they are out on the circuit, I think. So let's have a quick look, and we've got Vince Biggs 4 seconds up on number 1 Roy Hanks, 17 seconds up on John Holden. I don't think we can go any further. This is Lars Schwartz. He won't shuffle in. It will be Tom Hanks that will be moved up next, but he's a long way off, number 36. So I think in good time, in readiness for the checkered flag, and what a surprise Vince Biggs, the 47-year-old out of Chester, is going to be. We'll go back now to the Motorcycle News grandstand.
The Sidecar commentary is brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Not all magazines are the same.
Greetings, Earthlings. Here is a message from the mighty airbox in the sky. Test ride a Buell at the Stackis Hotel, Douglas Prom, 10 till 4:30 daily.
Buell American Motorcycles. Different in every sense.
And out of this world.
Die Isle of Man heißt sie mit ihren endlosen Meilen offener Straße willkommen. Nehmen Sie sich Zeit, auch die Landschaft zu genießen. Aber vergessen Sie darüber nicht die anderen Motoristen. Und bedenken Sie, Ihnen gehört nur die linke Seite der Straße. Passen Sie auf sich und andere auf. Diese Mitteilung wurde Ihnen vom Straßensicherheitsdienst und Kingsmead Limited überbracht.
Coverage of the Sidecar race was brought to you by Motorcycle Sport and Leisure, the quality monthly since 1962. Pick up a June issue today and celebrate 90 years of TT racing with free collector's postcards of Colin Seeley, Bob McIntyre, Mike Hailwood and John Surtees.
Well, the light is on for Roy Hanks, but let's get a quick update from Fred.
Few Vince and Graham Biggs. Graham, one of twin brothers. They lead 4 seconds up on Roy Hanks, but 9 seconds back on Roy Hanks now. We have Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, Roy's nephew, comes in just 9 seconds down on Roy, and he is 8 seconds up on John Holden. So it's going to be celebration for the Biggses. Back to you, Peter.
Right, well, we're keeping an eye. It was 1 minute and 20 seconds when they started, and I wonder, can Roy Hanks actually pull that 4 seconds back over the mountain stretches? Roy, of course, an overall winner of a Sidecar TT, but never the winner of an individual race. He got that for finishing, I think it was something like 3rd and 4th, but here he is now. I wonder, does he know? He's battling for the lead. He crosses the line now, and he gets a tremendous cheer from the grandstand. And we now have 1 minute and 20 seconds to wait to see who is going to be the winner. In fact, no, I'm completely wrong there, because that was the time difference to number 22, wasn't it? Retirements now. Number 7, Ian Bell, we've told you. Number 20, Tony Baker, retired at Glentrammon. Number 26, Des Founds, retired at Selby Crossroads. 41, Nicholas Bates, retired at Kirkmichael. 46, Bill Crook, retired at Crosby Crossroads. And 63, Jacques Jean and Gerard Barbet, retired at the pits. 1 minute and 20 seconds, I was right, and here they are. Is it going to be? No, in fact, we're waiting now. We want to find who the winner is, Jeff, because that's Roy Hanks going in there now. But we've got 1 minute and 20 seconds to wait. It's coming up to 50 seconds now. And it's 4 seconds was the difference there at Ramsey Hairpin. The light was on for number 9. It's 58, 59, 60. The minute is up now. That's number 4. That's Kenny Howells finishing. It could be very close indeed. It's 1 minute and 6, 7, 8. 1 minute 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and well, I reckon Roy Hanks has won by a couple of seconds. Absolutely remarkable. Let's go down and join Jeff.
Well, we think they've won. They're here. They didn't have any idea whatever. We think that you've won by a couple of seconds. We think you've won it.
No.
Yeah, we think so. 1 minute 22, and Vince and Graham Biggs are second behind you with 2 seconds down by the looks of it. All the leaders dropped out one by one. We think you've done it.
Well done, Phil. Cheers.
Can you believe it?
No, I don't want to be number 1 again, though.
Well, it's worked. Why not? Number 1 and you've won. There's nothing wrong with that, is there? Don't you believe me?
No, I don't believe you.
All right, Peter, any confirmation?
Just waiting now. It is up. It's
is this
no,
Vince?
we haven't got the time for number
Phil,
4.
we think you've done
We're
it.
keeping going. We're keeping going.
On the headphones here.
Number 1. We're waiting for number 14 to finish, and he can't do it. I don't think
number
so.
9 nearly knocks over Roy Hanks, but it looks as if it's on.
It looks like at the moment 2.2 seconds. It looks like it is 2.2 seconds. We're just waiting for number 14's time to be confirmed, but I'm pretty certain it's that man Hanks has won it.
Rose is here 30 years after she was on the rostrum, and it's number 9, Vince and Graham Biggs, we think, have lost it by 2 seconds. Up to now, you're on.
Oh, wait and see, eh?
Yeah, we're just waiting for 14, John Holden, Ian Watson, and later on, of course, Tom Hanks and Steve Wilson. Roy, it is on.
Well, what can I tell you? I don't know. I can't believe it.
Did he go flat out all the way?
As fast as I could.
Did you see all them dropping out, though? Rob Fisher dropped out, Mick Boddice dropped out, Ian Bell dropped out.
No, I thank him very much.
And then Greg Lambert was leading, and he went as well.
Well, there you go, yes. So you've got to finish. And that's it.
Well, I hope I'm not the one that has to say number 36 has won this, like Mark Baldwin and Mick Lofthouse. Peter, is there any chance of that?
I don't think so. I think 36 is too far behind. He is pushing hard, and he was up into 3rd place, but he was something like 23 seconds, 13 seconds down. 36 we're waiting for. Yeah. I can tell you the light is not on
Thomas
as yet.
Coming in for 3rd. He's not in yet.
No, that's right.
Can you believe it?
No, I can't.
It's definitely 2.2 seconds to Roy at the moment from Biggs.
Well, Roy is up here, but the Biggs boys...
Well, you get a chance to talk to us now as well. Yeah. What a fantastic win indeed. How did you manage that?
No, I don't think so. Second, Keith.
Second in the end. I'm sorry, Vince. That was a blow, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2.2 seconds down, I think. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, that's okay. I don't mind Roy winning.
Looks as if that's so. Well, there's absolute confusion here. I've never known anything like it. They refuse to believe they've won. They just won't have it. I think it'll be till they get the prizes on Monday night. He's not going to wear it, and I'm scared stiff of this one, with other drivers still out on the road after the Lofthouse-Baldwin affair. What do you say, Peter?
I feel a bit nervous myself about this, Jeff, but number 36, Tom, is not in as yet.
He can't split them, though, surely.
I'm sure he can't now, because it's he started 5 minutes and 50 seconds back. But the stranger things have happened, particularly in this race, but it's definitely 2.2 seconds. We stopped our watches on 2.2. And number 19 is slotted in there, but as 36 we're looking for, he could be in 3rd. In fact, we could have both of the Hankses in there in the winners' enclosure, 1st and 3rd. But of course, time will tell on that. But I feel pretty confident enough that Roy has won. He's won the overall sidecar a couple of years ago, of course, Jeff, but this is his first actual victory in an individual race.
Yeah, but Vince is puzzled by it all as well. Although he said he doesn't mind Roy winning, I'm sure with only a couple of seconds in it, you'd rather have been yourself, really.
No, not really. I'm not bothered.
On you, genuinely, Graham?
No, not really. Keep it in the family. Phil's won, ain't he?
What a race, though. About 5 or 6 different winners. Did you see any of the front men go?
Saw Rob, yeah, parked up on the mountain, and Ian Bell as well.
And, of course, then Greg Lambert was leading then.
Was he? I didn't know that.
And he went as well at Pagaro, because he'd be behind you on the road, so you wouldn't see that.
No, fully enjoyed it.
About 5 or 6 different leaders. Incredible performance. I say just about everybody had a go at leading.
Oh, good. Well, that's what you want, a bit of variation, innit? I told you the sidecars are here for a bit of fun, like you say.
Well, we were dropping off, and then suddenly it came to life. It was a fantastic finish, and just a couple of seconds in it, and another opportunity for you Monday, of course.
Well, yeah, I'll have another go. I can only repeat that I'm glad Roy's won it. It's something, even when I rode with him, I wanted him to do. I'm just pleased for my sponsor, and my brother has done all my engines and all that.
It's a great fraternity, the sidecars, isn't it? You are a club.
We are. You know, blood's thicker than water.
All right, well, I'm sure that lager is thicker than water as well, and there'll be a few tonight for the boys. They're still swallowing it. Sinking in a bit?
Yeah, just a bit now, yeah. Gonna get pissed tonight.
Charming. No wonder. I think we're going to have to credit you with it, even if you don't want it.
Is that right? Well, I'll have it. Has Tom come home yet?
No, still waiting for 36, Peter, are we?
Come on, Tom.
Peter, are you there? 36,
yeah,
Tom Hanks and Wilson at the end, Steve Wilson?
It looks, and I'm keeping fingers, legs, and everything else I've got that I can cross, but it looks as if he may have snatched that 3rd place. Peter Lees tells me he is 3rd, and he's been right all the way through the day, and he is. Hey, Tom is 3rd, 5.2 seconds down on Biggs. Jeff, did you get that?
No, I don't know whether I want to.
Tom is 3rd.
Yeah, okay. Number 36, that is, then, is
That's
3rd
correct.
with Steve Wilson in the chair. Where are they? Are they through?
Yes, they're through.
In fact, they're outside here. Yeah, it's 36, boys. 36 you want. Yeah, well, they're queuing up here, but it's 36 who takes it for 3rd position. Tom is 3rd with Roy winning. Well done, 3rd it is.
Yeah, can't believe it. Well done, Roy.
And here they are, he's Roy and Tom together here. What an afternoon it is for the boys.
Yes, Tom, mate.
Steve, well done.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, good race.
What a race, eh? Just listen to this for the family get-together then. That was tight. You had a lot of traffic.
Oh, yeah. Met a few guys. Some were a bit helpful, some were struggling, didn't know I was there. It's hard, isn't it, around here? I mean, you can't predict a bend.
Did you see all the others stop, though? Greg Lambert was leading.
Was he? I seen Bell up by Winnie Corner, but that's it.
Ian Bell was stopped, Mick Boddice was stopped, Rob Fisher was stopped.
I don't know what to say. It's a good job the lads on the course had the signals out, because I'd finished, I'd had enough, and when I seen them, it just spurred me on.
What was that, for the heat and just the general bumps and things?
Yeah, it done me in, and I saw it for what, and I thought, well, I'll just go in it all the way.
Well, go in there and enjoy the spoils of what is a rostrum position in most extraordinary sidecar race I've ever followed since I've been at this end of the course. Anyway, maybe there were rarer ones when I was at Ballaugh, but all the people here are reluctant to take the victory. You've never seen anybody less willing to accept a victory, but we had a slight degree of nervousness as well, but I think you've got it on the clocks now, Peter, have you?
Definitely on the clocks now, 1, 9 and 36.
And those are the 3 outfits we've got in here, so we've got it right. And what an extraordinary finish to the first leg of the 90th anniversary meeting here, as you remarked.
I really can't remember a race like that, Jeff, ever.
Well, we had Rob Fisher running away with it, and you've got to say, you know, it didn't look up to much. It was just a bit of a procession. And then, of course, he went, and suddenly the race was on to see who was wanting to win it. In the end, they were almost reluctant heroes, I suppose you'd say.
It's quite amazing, isn't it?
I don't know who was robbed of that 3rd at that expense. I presume John Holden,
yeah,
was it?
Number 14, it was John Holden, yeah.
Okay,
and
well...
it was 15 seconds eventually.
Yeah, that's a fair old margin in the end. What a race. Fantastic. I'll just leave it with you while we see if we can find any of the others.
I don't know if Tom is there. He lapped actually on his final circuit. He lapped at 108.08 to get that.
Yeah, 108.08 last lap.
Oh, unbelievable. I really didn't think it.
You got it by 15 seconds in the end, so you must have been streaking over the mountain.
Yeah, well, I was just worn out. I don't know. I just kept having visions and thinking, going to keep me concentration here and, you know, watch the track.
Okay, flatten the chair all the way down the mountain, were you?
Yeah, well, all I wanted to do was finish, but anything else would have been a bonus. This is a real big bonus.
Well, there's money, there's cups, there's replicas, and a family outing it's been for sure. 1, 9 and 36. You are third. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. I'm sure if we play this, it'll sound absolutely crazy, but it's certainly live radio at its very best. Peter.
Thanks, Jeff. Yes, indeed. And that's quite a fantastic lap there, 108.08. No wonder he got that 15 seconds out. Well, if I've got my breath back, let's just take a quick check at the times for the race. For number 1, Roy Hanks and Philip Biggs, the winners. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 29.7, 106.95 miles an hour average. Second, number 9, Vince and Graham Biggs. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 31.9, 106.89. Third, number 36, Tom Hanks and Steve Wilson. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 37.1, 106.75. Fourth, number 14, John Holden and Ian Watson. 1 hour, 3 minutes, 52.8, 106.31. Fifth, number 4, Kenny Howells and Doug Jewell, and their time for the race was 1 hour, 4 minutes, 2.5, 106.04. Sixth, number 32, Alan Schofield and Andrew Thornton. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 17.8, 105.62. Seventh, number 19, Gary Horsepole and Kevin Lee. 1 hour, 4 minutes, 24.8, 105.43. Eighth, number 5, Jeff Bell and Lee Farrington. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 9 seconds, 104.24. Then in ninth, we have number 31, Rob Cameron and Paul Randall. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 11.8, 102.59. 10th, number 15, Mick Boddas Jr. and Chris Hollis. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 39.6, 101.88. And we're pretty certain we're correct there up to the first 10. Some of the way this race has gone, some of the higher numbers could well nibble in. So we'll say provisionally in 11th place we have number 17, Lars Schwartz and Colin Hardman. In 12th place, number 10, and that is Eddie Wright and Rod Beers, followed by number 18, Bruce Small and Dave Bilton. Then number 29, Steve Sinnott and Dave Corlett, and 15th, 21, Dick Hawes and Eddie Kiff. But what an amazing race that has been. Let's pass that news on to our visitors from the continent.
Et les vainqueurs de la Sidecar A, c'est le numéro 1, Roy Hanks et Phil Biggs, dans 1 heure, 3 minutes, 29,7 secondes. En deuxième, le numéro 9, Vince et Graham Biggs. Et en troisième, le numéro 36, Tom Hanks et Steve Wilson. Peter.
Danke, Mavis. Eines der spannendsten Seitenwagenrennen ist zu Ende. Erster Roy Hanks und Phil Biggs mit der Startnummer 1. Sie haben nur 2,2 Sekunden Vorsprung vor dem zweiten Startnummer 9 Vince Biggs und Graham Biggs. Die beiden sind 5,2 Sekunden vor Startnummer 36 Tom Hanks und Steve Wilson hier eingelaufen. Und damit zurück zu Peter Neal.
Thank you indeed. Well, the garlanding rostrum is being prepared with the TT logo, and of course below that's the 90th anniversary logo. But the boys are still finishing. That's number 42 coming in, and that's Frank Briscoe and Matthew Wiseman with a Windle Honda from St. Helens. But Roy Hanks, it's interesting to note in actual fact that his father, Fred Hanks, who was the editor of the TT Special until a few years ago, was actually on the island for the first time for about 6 years. He was invited over, and he was on the island over the weekend. He had to go back in the middle of last week, and I know he'll either be on the phone or he'll rigged up a big aerial to listen in, because he takes a great interest. So not only has his son won a Sidecar TT, but his grand-nephew has also finished in the top 3 in 3rd place. So Fred Hanks in Erdington across there in Birmingham will be a very, very happy man tonight. I bet he's been on the phone already to find out how Roy has got on, and he'll be delighted to hear that he's won. 2.2 seconds, one of the closest finishes, I suppose, in sidecar racing that we've had. Everybody was talking about the runaway victory, looking at the practice leaderboard, that Rob Fisher was just going to cakewalk it, but it's never that easy on the TT course. It's 37.73 miles, 3 laps, 113.19 miles, and anything can happen there. I think Jeff's got a few more to have a chat with down there. Have you, Jeff?
Yes, Dave, caught 14th position. I think we've got him in, is that right, Tim? Steve Sinnott, yeah, 14th. It looks as if it's been a very hard day, though.
A very hard day, Jeff. Just to say hi to Dawn at Union Mills. We're back safe.
and I'm tired.
Everybody's absolutely whacked by this race. So Roy Hanks first, Vince Biggs, then Tom Hanks, John Holden, Kenny Howells, Schofield, Horspool, Jeff Bell, and here is Jeff Bell with us now in 8th position there. 8th, I think you finished there, Jeff.
Yeah, just went as fast as I felt right. I've been out of it all week, basically, but I enjoyed the ride round.
Okay, Ian was one of the many who were leading the race. I think at one time we had Greg Lambert, and it was there for the taking if you'd have been on top form, but you just weren't on the pace. But I think you're just glad to get the 3 laps.
I am, yeah. Ironically, the bike's been so poor during the week. Ian passed us quarry bends. I could have passed him again down Sulby. It's so quick. The bike's absolutely flying. It's just down to me. I'll try a bit harder on Monday.
All right, so what about Roy Hanks winning it then?
Brilliant. I'm really over the moon for him. One of the nicest blokes in racing.
Okay, well, even the chap who finished second was prepared to say that. Vince Biggs didn't seem to mind despite only a couple of seconds being in it.
Vince as well. They're very good friends. They're both good friends of mine. I'm really pleased for all of them.
All right, and in 3rd position then with a great late effort, Tom Hanks, and 108 on the last lap.
Next year's winner.
Okay, thanks boys. Those are the thoughts on a very peculiar race, but one which had loads of interest at the end. And now, in case we run over, the garlanding ceremony is on the ramp. Peter.
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an unusual and a fantastic sidecar race, eh? Would you please greet the first 3 crews with the fanfare? Well, I think possibly now that Roy Hanks has believed that he's actually won. There he is with his passenger Philip Biggs, and there's the tremendous sportsmanship of Vince and Graham Biggs in 2nd place, and completing a historic day for the Hanks family. Nephew Tom is up there as well in 3rd place with Steve Wilson. Tremendous, and we were just saying earlier that Roy's dad Fred was over earlier in the week. He'll have been on the phone, he'll know all the news, and Roy, an overall winner of the sidecar quite a few years ago, has now won the race. He'll have the big trophy on Monday, and I think he's a little bit happy about it. And the garlanding ceremony being carried out for this race by the Chief Minister of the Isle of Man, the Honourable Donald Gelling, who will pass on now the winners' sashes, hats, etc. to them. And Roy Hanks just having a look. I think he's doing a bit of a commentary up there as to about what's happening. Somebody pushing in, and well, that's what the TT is all about, isn't it? The problems, but they want to finish. So what about it, ladies and gentlemen? These people here pushing in, and they just want to get a finish. They're going to reach the finish line if they have to push it. Let's give them a bit of support, a bit of cheer for them. And they're going to finish. It may only be a finisher's award, but it'll be very important to them. Right, Jeff, who is it?
It's Bill Curry, the old Southern 100 rider. The engine is absolutely on fire almost, but over the line they go now. And they've done it, Bill Curry and Nick Haslam, with smoke pouring out of it. They're over the line, they're okay. It is that line.
Thanks, Jeff, and that's nice to see, isn't it? The first 3 crews, the first to applaud a fellow competitor pushing in. But now we do go on with the garlanding ceremony, and the Chief Minister of the Isle of Man. Well, Roy, if you didn't believe it before, perhaps you'll believe it now. Roy Hanks, TT winner, goes into the history books. Philip Biggs, his passenger, gets the other red garland. And the winners' hats. The runners up there, number 9, Vince and Graham Biggs. So 3 Biggs and 2 Hanks on there. And they get their garlands, well-deserved 2nd place, and finishing just 2.2 seconds down on the winner. And surely a future winner, number 36, young Tom Hanks. What a career he's got ahead of him. 3rd place, first time on the rostrum, and he receives the garland and the 3rd place hat. And his passenger, Steve Wilson, completes the set